Good morning, students. I hope you are all doing good. Let us see what we are going to discuss in today's class. Good morning, ma. In previous class, we have derived PV is equal to nRT. Which is called as ideal gas equation. Is it right? In that, what are the terms? Just we will recall and we will go to next concept. P is equal to pressure, V is equal to volume, N means number of moles of gas, capital R universal gas constant, capital T temperature in absolute Kelvin, absolute temperature. That is okay. What is the importance of R? R is called universal gas constant. All these things in previous class we have seen. Now in today's class we will go through our next side heading, that is called Graham's law of diffusion. First, before going to the Graham's law of diffusion, we have to know what is meant by diffusion. The process of intermixing of gases is called diffusion. For example, let us open one scent bottle in the corner of the room. After some time, we will get that scent bottle smell throughout the room. What is that one? Actually, scent bottle contains scent, perfume, which is volatile in nature. As soon as if you open the mouth of the bottle, immediately that one will be converted to gas, and that scent, that perfume is going to be intermixed with the atmosphere, and it is going to reach us. Okay, that is called diffusion. The process of intermixing of gases is called diffusion. The process of intermixing of gases is called diffusion. Now, under this first point, generally gases will move from high pressure region to low pressure region. Generally gases will move from high pressure region to low pressure region. Is it okay? Next, second one. This diffusion of gases will be depending on mass of the gas. Diffusion of gases will be depending on mass of the gas. Depending on this only we are going to derive the relation, and that formula is useful to do the problems. Before that, once again, the process of intermixing of gases is called diffusion. Meaning of this one, the gas particles, they have to intermix. If you leave two gases, they have to intermix one each other. If they are able to move easily, they will intermix fastly. Then diffusion is very fast. If they are not able to move freely, easily, they cannot diffuse easily. That means, observe carefully, diffusion of gases will be depending on mass of the gas. If the mass of the gas is high, heavy, molecular mass, generally this is called molecular mass. Molecular mass this is. If the molecular mass of the gas is high, the particle is heavier, can it move easily? It cannot move easily. When it is not able to move easily, diffusion is also less only. Because what is meant by diffusion? The process of intermixing of gases is called diffusion. If the process is fast, then diffusion is fast. If the process is slow, then the diffusion is also slow. I hope you are clear. Now, diffusion of gases will be depending on molecular mass of the gas. The gas with heavier molecular mass cannot diffuse easily. That means diffusion, that gas particles diffusion is inversely proportional to molecular mass of the gas. That one I am going to derive the relation also. Derive means we are going to get the formula also. Next, see, diffusion of gases will be depending on diffusion of the gases will be depending on velocity of molecules. Velocity means their speed. The molecules which can move freely, easily, the molecules which can move easily, the molecules with lower molecular mass can move easily. That means they have high velocity. Mass is inversely proportional to velocity. Heavier person can run fastly, or lighter person can run fastly. Lighter person only, lean fellow. That is known thing only. Like this here also, if the molecular mass is high, its velocity is low. Automatic diffusion is also low. If velocity is high, diffusion of the gas is also high. These are the points you have to remember. First one, what is meant by diffusion? The process of intermixing of gas is called diffusion. You need to remember these points. Here, I am going to take Graham's law of diffusion. I am not going to derive the relation between diffusion and other property, but I am going to derive the relation between rate of diffusion. So first we want to know what is this rate of diffusion. Rate of diffusion is represented by R. R is equal to V by T. What is meant by V? Where V is equal to volume of the gas intermixed, time T. T is equal to time. Generally, rate means immediately we will get idea, that is time only with respect to time. Correct, ma? Generally, we will get idea. Rate means immediately we will get idea time only. With respect to time, what is the volume of the gas intermixed with other one? If the volume of the gas intermixed with other one is high, rate of diffusion is also high only. If the volume of the gas intermixed with other gas is less, that is nothing but rate of diffusion is also less only. So what is the definition of rate of diffusion? Rate of diffusion is defined as volume of the gas intermixed with other gas in a particular time, unit time. Volume of the gas intermixed with another gas in unit time is called rate of diffusion. Immediately unit time means immediately we will get idea, this is one only. The formula is R is equal to V by T. Keep it in box. R means rate of diffusion, V means volume of the gas intermixed with respect to time. Please observe carefully, all of you. This is rate of diffusion. Okay. Now, according to this Graham's law of diffusion, Graham's, it is the name of scientist. He is the name of scientist. It is the name of scientist. According to him, what is this law related to diffusion? Rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to square root of density of any gas. Rate of diffusion of any gas is inversely proportional to square root of density of that gas. Density, molecular weight, these are all directly related only. One more time I am stating this one. Rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to square root of density of the gas. Some students they will ask why it is square root. Inversely proportional density itself we can write, but that relation exactly we will get by applying square root only. They will draw the graphs also, ma. Okay, na? In that graphs, that relation exactly we will get straight line or hyperbola exactly by taking square root of d. That's why they will define in this way. Now, what is the statement again? This is the formula. Rate of diffusion of any gas is directly inversely proportional. Rate of diffusion of any gas is inversely proportional to square root of its density. Is inversely proportional to square root of its density. Okay, now from this R is equal to K into 1 by square root of D. This implies R1 is equal to K into 1 by square root of D1. R2 is equal to K into 1 by square root of D2. By taking this, by dividing equation 1 with equation 2, we will get R1 by R2 is equal to square root of D2 by D1. This is in denominator, ma. It will come to numerator. 1 by square root of D1 by 1 by square root of D2. That square root of D2 will come to numerator. It will become this one. Square root of A by square root of B is written as square root of A by B. That's why we got the formula finally. R1 by R2 is equal to square root of D2 by D1. Next, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. Like square root of density, rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to square root of density. It is inversely proportional to square root of gram molecular weight, where capital M is called gram molecular weight of gas 1, M1 is called gram molecular weight of gas 1, M2 is called gram molecular weight of gas 2. Here also R1 is called rate of diffusion of gas 1, R2 is called rate of diffusion of gas 2, D2 is called density of second gas, D1 is called density of first gas. Note down the terms also. If you know the terms, then only we can do the problems easily. Next, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. We know that from 11th class first chapter, some basic concepts of chemistry, 2 into vapor density is equal to gram molecular weight. 2 into vapor density is equal to gram molecular weight. By removing this 2 as constant, gram molecular weight is directly proportional to vapor density. So here instead of gram molecular weight, we can write vapor density also. That's why the equation will become R1 by R2 is equal to square root of VD2 divided by VD1. What are the formulae I am telling here? Those are all very important while we are doing the problems related to Graham's law of diffusion. VD2 means vapor density of second gas. VD1 means vapor density of first gas. M2 gram molecular weight of second gas. M1 gram molecular weight of first gas. Next, we know that rate of the diffusion is equal to V by T. Here we have written the formula. Volume of the gas intermixed divided by time. R is equal to V by T. Then R1 is equal to V1 by T1. R2 is equal to V2 by T2. R1 is equal to V1 by T1, R2 is equal to V2 by T2. Okay, ma? Till now, I hope you are clear. Observe the things whatever I wrote clearly. Note down carefully. Okay? R1 is equal to V1 by T1, R2 is equal to V2 by T2. Substitute these values in this formula or in this formula, anything. Coming to the substitution, ma? V1 by T1 into T2 by V2 is equal to square root of D2 by D1 is equal to square root of M2 by M1 is equal to square root of VD2 divided by VD1. According to situation in the problem, whatever the information they give, according to that information, we will use among these anything. Even R1 by R2 also we can write. R1 by R2 is equal to R1 by R2 is equal to V1 by T1 into T2 by V2 is equal to square root of D2 by D1 is equal to square root of M2 by M1 is equal to square root of VD2 by VD1. This is called density, this is called gram molecular weight, this is called vapor density. V1, volume of the gas, volume of the first gas escaped, intermixed. T1, time taken for the gas, first gas. T2, time taken for the second gas. V2, volume of the second gas, intermixed. Sometimes they will not give rate of diffusion directly. Volume of the gas intermixed like that they will give. In that conditions we will use this formula. Sometimes they will give rate of the diffusion directly. In those conditions we will use this formula and this one. So according to our condition we will use ma. Next, we can relate rate of the diffusion with pressure also. R1 by R2 is equal to P1 by P2 into square root of M2 by M1. What is the formula relating pressure ma? R1 by R2 is equal to where P1 is pressure first condition, P2 is pressure second condition ma. Next, we can relate with respect to temperature also. R1 by R2 is equal to T1 by T2 into M2 by M1 whole square root. This is the relation with pressure and this is the relation with temperature. In temperature, this temperature terms will be under square root. In pressure terms will be outside the square root. Observe carefully. Next one, observe this formula. V1 by T1 into T2 by V2 V1 by T1 into T2 by V2. Just 1 second, ma. Is equal to square root of M2 by M1. From Avogadro's law, V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2. V is directly proportional to N. That is called Avogadro's law. So we can write V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2. Substitute this one here, ma. This is V1 by V2. We will get N1 by N2 into T2 by T1 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. Number of moles of first gas divided by number of moles of second gas into T2 by T1 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. We know that number of moles of gas equal to given weight by gram molecular weight. W is equal to given weight. Number of moles of any gas is equal to given weight by gram molecular weight. Then N1 is equal to W1 by M1, N2 is equal to W2 by M2. Substitute this formula in this one, ma. You will get W1 by M1 into M2 by W2 into T2 by T1 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. I am sending this W1 by W2 that side. Sorry, not W1, ma, M2 by M1. I am sending this M2 by M1 that side. Then you will get W1 into T2 divided by W2 into T1. I am keeping these weights as it is, W1 by W2 as it is I am keeping, is equal to square root of M2 by M1 into this M1 will come here, M2 will down, M1 divided by M2. Square root of M2 will cancel M2 square root of M2 times. Square root of M1 will cancel M1 square root of M1 times. Then the formula will become W1 by W2 into T2 by T1 is equal to square root of M1 by M2. And this is the final formula in Graham's law of diffusion. W1 means given mass of gas 1. W2 means given mass of gas 2. T2 time taken for the diffusion of second gas. T1 time taken for the diffusion of first gas. M1 gram molecular weight of first gas. M2 gram molecular weight of second gas. W1 is equal to given weight of gas 1 T2 time taken, they will give the values. M1 is equal to gram molecular weight of first gas. M2 is equal to gram molecular weight of second gas. Okay, now we will see just a small recall regarding this one. What are the useful formulae? Everything I kept in boxes, ma. First one, R is equal to V by T. Rate of diffusion is equal to volume of the gas intermixed divided by time taken. R is inversely proportional to square root of D. From there onwards we got the formula. First one, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of D2 by D1. Second one, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. Third one, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of VD2 by VD1. Here VD2 and VD1 are nothing but vapor densities of second gas and first gas respectively. From this next relation, finally we can write like this, R1 by R2 is equal to V1 by T1 into T2 by V2 is equal to square root of D2 by D1 is equal to square root of M2 by M1 is equal to square root of VD2 by VD1. Next, R1 by R2 is equal to P1 by P2 into M2 by M1. This is the relation between rate of diffusion and pressure of the gas. Next, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of T1 by T2 square root of T1 by T2 into M2 by M1. N1 by N2 into T2 by T1 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. W1 by W2 into T2 by T1 is equal to square root of M1 by M2. Okay, I hope you are clear about this Graham's law of diffusion. While we are doing the problems according to our condition, according to our situation, means if they give a relation between given mass of gas and gram molecular weight of the gas and time, we have to use this formula. So if you want to get randomly or immediately to get into the mind, we have to practice so many times this formula alone. So many formulae are there under Graham's law of diffusion. We have to be utmost care and we have to see to them practice continuously. Okay, this is about Graham's law of diffusion. Till now we have completed Graham's law of diffusion. Next our next law is Dalton's law of partial pressures. Dalton's law of partial pressures. To explain this one, first we have to know what is meant by partial pressure. Let us consider a gaseous mixture A and B. To apply this Dalton's law of partial pressures, the first most important condition is the gases whatever we are taking in the container must not be reactive. Gases must not be reacted with each other. Non-reactive gases only we have to take into container. For them only we can apply Dalton's law of partial pressures. Okay, now at the time of explaining this one, we will understand why we are taking this condition. Let us see now. A and B are two gases which are taken in the gas container. Pressure applied by A when it is present along with other gases is called partial pressure of A. We have only container which is filled with gas A. Then the pressure of this container is nothing but pressure of A only. Pressure of A is nothing but pressure applied by the gas molecules A. So it is purely because of A only. Here it is not partial pressure. This is called pressure of A. Simply it is called pressure. But here A is present along with B. So the pressure applied by A is not complete pressure of the gas container. Along with A, it is mixed with another gas B also. That's why the pressure of A along with any other gas is called partial pressure of A. Same way, the pressure of B along with any other gas is called partial pressure of B. Pressure of B along with any other gas is called partial pressure of B. Partial pressure of A is represented with PA. PB is called partial pressure of B. Then what is meant by Dalton's law of partial pressures? Total pressure of the gas, total pressure of the mixture of gases is equal to sum of partial pressures of the gases. Total pressure of the mixture of gases is equal to sum of the partial pressures of the gases. For example, in one container, hydrogen gas is present at 1.1 atmosphere, oxygen gas is present at 1.6 atmosphere. Now we are going to take in one container hydrogen plus oxygen. Sir, initially you told the gases must be non-reactive. Hydrogen and oxygen can be reacted like that, you can ask. At normal conditions, hydrogen and oxygen will not be reactive. In that case, oxygen present in the atmosphere and hydrogen present in the atmosphere, they will react to form water only. They will not be present individual. Is it correct or not? So these are non-reactive gases only. If you apply those experimental conditions, then only they will be reactive. Here these are non-reactive gases. Now this total pressure of the container is 1.1 plus 1.6, it is 2.7 atmospheres. Sum of partial pressure of hydrogen and partial pressure of oxygen. We got 2.7 atmospheres. This is the explanation for Dalton's law of partial pressures. Then we can write total pressure P is equal to partial pressure of A plus partial pressure of B, where capital P is equal to total pressure. PA is equal to partial vapor pressure of A. PB is equal to partial vapor pressure of B. Is it okay, ma? Now, one relation we will get from here. Let us see what is the relation. From ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT, P is equal to nRT by V, P is equal to nRT by V. I am applying this formula to gas A. Apply equation 1 to gas A. Then we can write that one as PA is equal to NA/RT by V. Sir, here you wrote Na, okay. R is constant, ma. Temperature is also constant. While we are getting this Dalton's law of partial pressures, temperature is constant, R is anyways constant, or universal gas constant. What about V? Here, A is occupying full volume of the container. Even B is also occupying full volume of the container. It is not limited up to middle, correct or not? So, volume of A is capital V, that means volume of the gas container V. Even volume of B is also V only, because we cannot split them into V by 2 like that, because A molecules are present throughout the volume of the container, even B molecules are also present throughout the volume of the container. That's why I wrote PA is equal to Na into RT by V. Same, apply equation 1 to gas B. Then we can write it as PB is equal to NB into RT by V. Is it correct, ma? Next, what is meant by equation 1? This one, ma. PV is equal to nRT, we got P is equal to N into RT by V, na? That is. Now, apply equation 1 to total pressure. Apply equation 1 to total pressure. That means this equation we have to apply to total pressure also. Then capital P is equal to total pressure means two gases must be taken. A and B both are taken. Then number of moles means Na plus Nb. Because two gases are present, then only we will get total pressure P. In that condition, N is equal to number of moles of total number of moles. Then I am writing Na plus Nb. N is equal to Na plus Nb into R into capital T divided by V, volume of the container V. Is it okay? Now this is equation 2, this is equation 3, and this is equation 4. Once again, Pa is equal to Na into RT by V, Pb is equal to Nb into RT by V, P is equal to Na plus Nb into RT by V. Total pressure P is equal to Na RT plus Nb RT divided by V. I am multiplying this Na with RT, even Nb with RT. This is equal to Na into RT by V, splitting the LCM, plus Nb into RT by V. Na into RT by V is Pa. Nb into RT by V is Pb. So this implies capital P is equal to Pa plus Pb. By using this relation also we got capital pressure. Capital P means total pressure. Total pressure is equal to Pa plus Pb. Partial pressure of A plus partial pressure of B. Total pressure P is equal to partial pressure of A plus partial pressure of B. Okay. We have totally equations 2, 3 and 4. Now I am going to do one thing. This is equation 2, equation 3 and equation 4. Okay. Now observe what I am going to do. Dividing equation 2 with equation 4. Dividing equation 2 with equation 4. Equation 2 means Pa divided by equation 4 capital P is equal to Na RT by V whole divided by Na plus Nb RT by V. Volume got cancelled. R temperature got cancelled. Pa by P. Partial pressure of A divided by P is equal to Na by Na plus Nb is called mole fraction of A. Already we have seen concentration terms in 11th class first chapter. Na by Na plus Nb, number of moles of A by total number of moles is called mole fraction of A. This implies partial pressure of A is equal to mole fraction of A into total pressure. This is the useful formula while we are doing the problems related to Dalton's law of partial pressures. In the same way, dividing equation 3 with equation 4. Dividing equation 3 with equation 4. Then it will become Pb by P is equal to Nb RT by V divided by Na plus Nb into RT by V. V got cancelled, RT got cancelled. Pb by P is equal to Nb by Na plus Nb, number of moles of B by total number of moles, which is called mole fraction of B. Finally, we can write it as implies partial pressure of B is equal to mole fraction of B into total pressure. Partial pressure of A is equal to mole fraction of A into total pressure. Partial pressure of B is equal to mole fraction of B into total pressure. If you have gas C, then we can write it as partial pressure of C is equal to mole fraction of C into P. Like that, in a gas container, we can take n number of gases. Partial pressure of n gas is equal to mole fraction of n gas into total pressure. In this way, we have learnt Dalton's law of partial pressures. The pressure of the gas along with any other gas is called partial pressure. In this, some questions they will ask in a way that they will give mixture of gases in the options and they will ask which of the following gas mixture is not obeying Dalton's law of partial pressures. There we have to check that the gases mixture which is reactive, NH3 plus HCl, both are reacted to form NH4Cl. For the type of gases, this Dalton's law of partial pressures cannot be valid. Okay, ma'am? I hope you are clear. Now finally, coming to ideal gas equation one more time. PV is equal to nRT PV by N into T is equal to R. For 1 mole of gas, PV by T is equal to R. This implies PV by T is equal to constant. Then we can write P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. This is one more formula useful in doing the problems. And one more time, here we have taken 1 mole of gas. If you don't take 1 mole of gas, means number of moles also will be considerable number. Then PV by NT is equal to constant. This implies P1 V1 by N1 T1 is equal to P2 V2 by N2 T2. P1 V1 by N1 T1 is equal to P2 V2 by N2 T2. These are also useful, highly useful formulae while we are doing the problems related to pressure, volume and temperature. Sometimes they will not give any pressure, volume 2 terms, they will give 3 terms also. In that conditions, these are useful. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, or P1 V1 by N1 T1 is equal to P2 V2 by N2 T2. Is it okay? This is about Dalton's law of partial pressure and also what are the useful formulae related to ideal gas equation. Okay, ma? I hope you are clear. If you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp me or you can make a call also, you can ask and you can clarify your doubts. Okay, that is about today's class. We will study what about real gases in next class. Till now, all these laws are related to ideal gas only. The gas which obeys all the laws at any condition is called ideal gas. Okay, ma? But in in our surroundings or in the atmosphere, no gas is ideal. All the gases are real gases only. Small difference is there between ideal gas and real gas. We will study that real gas and what is the difference between ideal gas and real gas in the next class. Okay, I hope in today's class you are very clear. Thank you all. Have a nice day.